What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. How y'all doing? Grab your coffee. We're going to talk about Ret Paladin. Again, I did do a video 3 weeks ago on Ret Paladin. I was just sort of doing an intro video, and I actually mostly talked about how there were problems with Ret Paladin going on. Some of the biggest things I mentioned were, of course, Avenging Wrath was a serious problem about 3 weeks ago. Things like Exorcism wasn't feeling very good, and I'm actually not going to explore Exorcism today because I don't run it in the dungeon footage I'm going to show you, but we'll talk about that another day. But it was mostly Avenging Wrath and then the tier set bonus for Season 1 of Ret Paladin. So let's talk about both of those problems first, and then I'm going to talk about the AoE build that I think works quite well in Mythic Plus for Ret Paladin. Then I'm going to show you some dungeon footage. So number one, the biggest problem, of course, was Avenging Wrath was in a really bad place. So it was like a 3-minute cooldown. They were making you take they're still making you take multiple versions of Avenging Wrath, but like Sanctify Wrath was not working with Crusade. Crusade was making Avenging Wrath a 3-minute cooldown. Blizzard wasn't sure what they wanted to do with the cooldown initially, if they were going to make it their regular 2-minute cooldown. So finally, we're past all that. Blizzard has made it a 2-minute cooldown now, and it doesn't display it here, unfortunately, but it's a 2-minute cooldown. You can have Sanctify Wrath and you can have Crusade at the same time, which is really, really cool. Sanctify Wrath causes you to explode, of course, every time you use Holy Power, and then Crusade gives you the haste buff up to 30%, and it makes everything go really, really fast. So also it gives you 3% damage per stack. So how much damage did... This might actually still not be working. I just realized this. Yeah. It still looks like it's partially bugged. Sanctify Wrath is still not showing up on my damage meter. So there's been multiple bugs submitted to Blizzard, so they do still need to fix this. But the 2-minute cooldown is back. Crusade is working fine. So the core of it is there. We just need this one last piece of Sanctify Wrath to be working. So it is still a bit troublesome, but it still works. And I actually did lots of damage in the dungeon. It pumped pretty hard, but it could have pumped even harder if we had Sanctify Wrath working properly. But we'll get there. Blizzard's going to get there. They just need to work on some of that stuff. So what about the tier set bonus? Because that was the other thing I mentioned. They completely changed it. People were really upset about the tier set bonus. It was like Consecration damage was basically doubled if you did it correctly, and then it did some other damage as well. But that was the main one, was that Consecration damage basically got doubled. I really liked it, but a lot of people were really dooming about it in the Ret Paladin Discord. As many of you guys might know, I'm sorry if you're part of the Ret Paladin Discord, but it's just like a bunch of crybabies 24/7 in there, and it drives me crazy. So my apologies if I just insulted you to your face, but if you're in the Ret Paladin Discord and you're complaining about Ret Paladin every single time a new patch comes out and a new tier set bonus comes out, like I just have no patience for those people. Like, you need to just shut up. And Ret Paladin's fine, okay? It's actually great. It just needs a little bit of tweaks here and there. But new tier set bonus is that Judgment, Blade of Justice, and Wake of Ashes do 15% more damage. Templar's Verdict, Divine Storm damage up by 10%. So everything just does more damage. Very boring. Very, very boring and annoying to me because I liked this new Consecration idea that they were going with. And even with the nerfs to the tier set bonus that don't buff Consecration anymore, my Consecration damage is still very high. So it still is going to be a requirement for Ret Paladins, I think. I don't think you can pass up 14 to 15% of your damage coming from Consecration. Like, I just don't think you can pass it up. All you really have to invest is a couple talents over here. I could have actually gotten rid of Incandescence. I just realized Incandescence did basically 0 damage. And what I could have done instead was just go Hallowed Ground. That would have been way better. But I did kind of want to get Speed and Avoidance. I could have gotten rid of this and just gone Hallowed Ground instead. So, missed a bit of an opportunity there, but here's the big thing that goes on with this build. This is what makes it so good. First of all, your Blade of Justice will put Consecration down. There's a limit to this, but it'll do it every once in a while. And then this is the real big one here, Sanctify. Enemies hit by Divine Storm take 100% more damage from Consecration. So you're going to run into a pack now. You're going to drop... you're going to hit them with Divine Storm and then hit Consecration. Or have Consecration down first, then hit them with Divine Storm. It doesn't really matter. But you do need to get Consecration on the ground now as a Ret Paladin. It's going to look something kind of like this. This is the damage I did overall in a dungeon, by the way, before I get rid of this. It was at about 43k, actually, I think. I just was doing some testing on the dummies, and it kind of lowered it. I can't give you like a +10. Anyway, the point is, their damage is actually quite good. I believe this guy just did this in the wrong order. That enhancement shaman just did that in the wrong order, but that's okay. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to run in. We're going to do this, and then this. We're going to go like this. Here we go. Oh, I messed it up so hard already. There we go. We're still going. You always want to have Consecration down as much as you can. And this is about how it feels. It's pretty smooth. The gameplay is basically the same. It's the same as it's always been. You're just... Oh, I didn't even use my cooldown. You ready? Everybody ready? I should use my cooldown, I guess. It's basically the same as it's always been. Except now it just feels like you have some extra tools and some extra damage sources like Consecration, which I think is fantastic. And I totally bunged up this demonstration, but I'm just trying to show you what it's like. That you want to have Consecration down because your Divine Storm will go through them. It'll make everybody take double damage from Consecration, which is super, super cool. I think that's a great little feature. This is where I should be oh no, Divine, I had, yeah. The exploding stuff's not happening still, which is unfortunate. Otherwise, it would be registering on the damage meters, and it's not. So there you go. Up to 72k. I could have done like 80k. I just wasn't paying attention and didn't pop my wings in time. But you can see Divine Storm is hitting really, really hard. The extra part of Divine Storm, as we've had, that was the old legendary from Shadowlands, where it sends out a projectile. That's doing 10% of our damage. Just the friggin' projectile. Consecration does 16.5. 16.5%. Yes. I understand some people are angry about this because, oh my god, what if the tank moves out of it and you've got to move? Yeah, you got to pay attention. For crying out loud. I'm sorry, Rat Paladins, that you've only had to press 2 buttons for your entire damn life, but now it's time you got to press a few more buttons. And I just, man, it drives me crazy. I obviously you can tell I'm getting a little fired up about this, but it drives me crazy when people are like, oh, I have to drop Consecration how to do damage. It's like, yeah, you do. Get over it. Lots of other specs in the game have very, very complicated rotations that they have to deal with, that you don't have to deal with as a Ret Paladin. You just literally press your big, big buttons and you just blow stuff up. It's the same way it's always been for Ret Paladin, but now you just have to add in a little dot that you put on the ground. Yes, the tank will move out of it sometimes, but you just have to be a little bit smarter about what you're doing with that dot to make sure that you place it accordingly. So that's the only major difference really now, I would say, with Ret Paladin, is this kind of addition of Consecration being this sort of dot that you have to deal with now. So let's get into the dungeon footage now that I'm done ranting at all the Ret Paladins. Let me show you. Does it bug out here at the beginning? I don't think so. Here, we'll get to this. Let me get my webcam up. There's a couple of bugs in this dungeon. Oh, it's going to be way too big. Make it a little bit. There we go. Again, your combos are quite simple. I'm doing 60k right now. I have Consecration on the ground to make sure that it's doing double damage. And then my damage will just keep going up, which is so nice. You get big Divine Storms going through everything. When you pop wings, you can still use Hammer of Wrath. It's all there. I'm still... Keep in mind, my damage would be much, much higher if Sanctified Wrath was actually working correctly, and it's not, as I mentioned before. I've submitted like 3 bug reports on it now. I'm not going to submit another one today, but our damage is fine. We're doing 63k right there. Here's another big pull. Again, this is a little tricky here. I want to get Consecration in the correct spot. So, thankfully, the tank did a good job keeping everything. I put Consecration down right there. Boom. Now they're taking double damage because I've already hit them with Divine Storm. You have to hit them with Divine Storm first, then they take double damage. I'm doing 88k, 90k right now without having wings on at all. I'm not even in wings right now. I have no wings, and I'm doing 90k. It's crazy, guys. The damage is good. 90k on like 6 targets. It's fine. Perfectly fine. Am I going to get stunned here? Oh, thankfully the evoker there had his head on straight. I don't know what I was doing. So here's the situation. I'm trying to get it down. We're doing 60k with that. Oh, I'm asleep. Okay, we're not asleep anymore. Great. Consecration is down. Here we go. Big damage here. 68k. If I get a free proc, there we go. 69, 72, 75k, 78k. I know some of the other classes in the game, I've heard people not complaining in the comments, but I've had a lot of people in the comments being like, dude, the damage that you're showing here is awful. You should be doing like 200k. That's what everybody's doing right now, and it's like, it's another thing that kind of drives me crazy. We're in beta. I'm 375 eye level, whatever. We're all scaled in the eye level here in the dungeon. I don't have sockets. I don't have enchants. I don't have trinkets on that are giving me all kinds of big procs. That's not the point of my videos when I'm doing these kinds of things for you guys. It's beta. These numbers are going to change. They're going to go up and down in the next month before we even get to this video. So just keep that in mind, that if you're only looking at these things just to look at damage, then you're probably kind of looking at the wrong thing, because it is beta. It's not the best metric to measure things by. It's better, much better to think about, like, how smooth is it to play? Does it feel good to play? Am I generating resources enough with this build? And am I doing a decent amount of damage? Does it feel like I'm doing like enough damage? Not like outrageous amounts of damage. I'm not min-maxing here. I'm not looking for like I'm not trying to figure out the exact build that I should be running for my character. That's not the point of my videos anyway. I just want to see, is there a really good baseline amount of damage? How's my utility? How's my self-healing? All these little things that I think we want to look at. And it's we're doing ourselves a disservice if we don't look at it. That's one major thing. So single target damage here is pretty good. I'm doing 34k. I get caught here, and I don't have bubble, but I didn't use lay on hands. I get wrecked here in a second.
I didn't get my heal off in time.
Yeah, so I think we would have done about 32 to 35k easily on that pull. That's a single target boss fight. It's a pure single target boss fight. That's good numbers from what I've tested on a lot of other classes. 30 to 50k is perfect. You're right kind of in that wheelhouse. So I could have done 35, maybe closer to 40k if I was doing it correctly once again. Here we go. Another pack immediately above 50k. Pack dies. Here's where it gets a little tricky. Here's my, my Consecration's down. It's hitting all those targets right now. All three of them are getting hit. Yes, the tank's moving a little bit, but they're still getting hit. And then now he's moved, so now I have to figure out where do I want to put my next Consecration. I actually got a free Consecration from my Blade of Justice, which is really cool. I put Consecration down again. You can see, like, it's not that hard, actually, to keep it down, guys. And I think some people were worried about that. It's just not that hard. I put one down right there. It's hitting almost everybody. I'm standing in the stupid beam like an idiot. You can see you can get that sort of consistent DPS profile. And it works out really well. Divine Storm, Divine Toll, Divine Storm. Consecration's down. They're taking double damage. That's good. We're doing good stuff here. That's what we want. What happened? The tank died here. The tank kind of the tank died. He got knocked off. These guys were new to this dungeon, and I didn't realize I was getting wrecked. So now I was like, okay, I have to self heal. The Mistweaver monk understood what was going on. Thank God. So anyway, I ended up taking aggro for a while here. We do kill this guy. Then we get to this boss. Get to the bird boss. Actually, I'm going to skip past the bird boss. We'll just get to the part where... Excuse me. Oh, we're doing 80k on these packs. It's really, really good. Really, really good. I want to skip ahead, though. We're doing about 30k on the boss fight. Once again, it's fine. Not amazing, but fine. Okay, let's get to... This is the big AoE portion of this dungeon. This is where I've seen a lot of people popping off doing, the 200k, that kind of stuff. Again... they might just be doing more damage. They're just doing more damage than me. Whatever the class is, they might be able to do more damage. Might have a better build. I really don't care at all. That's not what I care about. I care about the fact that this feels good to play. I'm doing 115k, 122k here without having Sanctified Wrath actually proccing correctly. So just keep this in mind. That look at it. We're capable of keeping up with the people and doing tons of damage in these big AoE pulls. That's going to be more than enough damage for what you need in a Mythic plus 10, certainly. And then as the expansion goes on, you're going to get more gear and you'll be able to do higher keys. But I just want to keep stressing how important it is that this is beta, that these numbers are not going to stay the same way, and we shouldn't stress over. If the class that I'm testing is significantly weaker, I'm doing 130k right now. If it's significantly weaker than the other classes damage-wise, then sure, it's worth taking a look at. But if you're kind of within the ballpark, I think it's fine. And I think you ought to all think it's fine as well. Last big AoE pull here before the tree boss. Once again, the tree boss is pretty cool. I'm telling everybody to stack with the tank. This is a really good strategy for this boss fight. You want to wait till the ads come out, and you want to be really close. Now, they kind of messed it up, but that's okay. We got most of the ads stacked together, and now we can do big AoE damage. My Consecration is ticking so hard. right here. It's just awesome. Look how much damage we just did. We just blew the ads up because that's what we're capable of doing. So I just love that. Divine Storm just feels good. You got to kick this guy, kick healing touch. Divine Storm feels so freaking good, man. Here comes the next AoE pack here. I'm trying to get my Consecration ready. It's already on the ground. There we go. Big damage, man. Big dot damage. I think I thought I was gonna die here, but look at it. Look what the Afflock did here. Watch him. He's doing 64k, 70k, and then boom, he goes to 87k. He just did increases.
Warlock though.
Yeah, he just dumpstered, which was so cool to see. He must have done, like he's Afflock, so it's like a Seed of Corruption. He must have done like a really big seed explosion or something.
Like finally showed up. I don't know
Maybe
what he did there.
I don't even know what Soul Flame is, but there you go. I hope you guys can see. Oh, we had a death there. I hope you guys can see that like the damage is fine. It doesn't have to be the best. It doesn't have to be min-maxed all at this exact second. I don't have gems. I don't have enchants. My tank's not pulling like 15 mobs together. I'm not getting any external buffs like PI. Like, this is just kind of decent gear with a tier set bonus from Season 1.
No, not the chain.
And that's what it is. And the damage is good. It's good enough. So, I just want to... I know this video had a lot of ranting in it, but I've just had a lot of comments on YouTube recently. And I just kind of wanted to address some of them to say that, like, we need to be really careful, I think, about whining and complaining about numbers right now on the beta. It's beta, and it's going to change. And, yeah, if you find something that's, like, super OP right now, great, try it out. But they're definitely going to nerf it. It's just the way it's going to go. And they're hopefully going to buff some of the classes that need just a little bit of a tweak. And I think that Ret Paladin could use a little bit of a buff, but I don't think it needs that much. I think it's competitive, and it feels fun to play. That's the most important thing to me. It feels really, really fun to play. It has an extra mechanic now with Consecration that I have to actually think about. I enjoy having to think about my class and my spec and making it better, making my gameplay experience better. I think it's way, way better that way. So I love it. I think that Ret Paladin is in a really good place. Let me know what you guys think about this. Again, sorry for the ranting, but I do want to make sure that I'm clear about kind of what I think about this, because I think sometimes I just need to clear the air there and say, listen, we need to stop complaining so much about this stuff. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you think about Ret Paladin in Mythic Plus AoE in particular? That's what we're looking at. I'll look at the overall damage right here. We did about 43k, as I said at the beginning of the dungeon. I know there's lots of classes right now doing about 50k overall in the dungeon, but again, there's tweaks that I can make to my talent tree. There's a couple talents that I have that I think were basically just dead in my build, like that I can change. So there's room to grow, room to improve. But how does this feel? How's the baseline feeling of Ret Paladin and AoE? It's fantastic. If you want to play Ret Paladin in Mythic Plus and Dragonflight, it's fantastic. It feels very, very good. So let me know what you guys think. Like and subscribe if you like this content. I love you all. I'll see you in the next one.